Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Davo from Archon Esports, bringing you another 1v1 Starcraft 2 cast today. This time, in the bottom right-hand corner, we have nucLeaR, who is our orange Terran. And in the top left-hand corner today, we have Chris, who is our red Protoss. Our map is Ohana Ellie, which is, of course, the most holiday-friendly map on Earth. I mean, look at the beaches, and everything that is lovely. Pine tree just there, excellent. A rock, amazing. And there we are. That is the map, which is Ohana. So a little bit about nucLeaR. I've actually cast this guy before. He plays some very strong Zerg. He's ranked Diamond at the moment on the European ladder. And yeah, he's pretty good. I don't know much, or, well, let's be honest, I don't know anything about Chris, but I can only presume that these guys are chums, as this is a custom game. And they're talking about Diablo. And I'm just going to put it out there, I was slightly disappointed with Diablo. You know, and conversation, if you like, in the comment box below. But I don't know, I found it a little bit easy. And the fact that you had to play through the easy mode in order to make the game harder, I felt it was a bit of a jip. I don't know. I like my games hard, even though I'm terrible at most of them. So there we are. nucLeaR and Chris. It looks like their probes and SCVs are going to be giving each other a nice high five as they go past. And it does look like nucLeaR will be doing a fairly standard defensive play. First it's Chris. And that's absolutely fine. Of course. Oh, a little bit of information. I don't know if you guys saw our coverage of the Multiplay's Insomnia Festival back in May, but now we are actually going to go to the Starcraft 2 UK Nationals, and we will be there shooting videos, hopefully getting interviews with people like Bling, DeMuslim, maybe Artosis, and, you know, maybe Artosis and Tasteless. That'd be amazing. And that will all be in creamy HD right here on the Archon Esports YouTube channel. Just like we did at Insomnia. If you haven't seen my Insomnia coverage, go check it out. We had a nice chat with Bling and various people from the esports world, including Joe Miller, if you know who Joe Miller is. He's a fairly big character in League of Legends. He's a bit like the League of Legends' Day 9. So yeah, you should definitely go check that out as well. There is my plugging done. Let's get back to this illustrious game, which is Starcraft. The probe doesn't unfortunately make it out of nucLeaR's base alive. And we have a forge going down right now for Chris, so we will be seeing a cannon. Yes, oh yes we will. We'll be seeing a cannon possibly at the top of the ramp, where the natural lies. That's what we will be seeing. And here we go, we do have an SCV who is going to be scouting the fact that there is an expansion already. Well, he has already done that. But he will be scouting and seeing what he can see right now. Those are some fairly funny waypoints right there from nucLeaR, but no worries. He is not worried about that, because bam, we have bunkers on the way. Not one, but two bunkers. That Protoss probe puts an end to that pretty damn quickly. But here we go, we do have a Marine coming in right now, and another Marine just leaving the base from down here. Meanwhile, this Marine is going to be microed around, trying to avoid the probes. Ooh, but that might have been a little bit too much for a Marine, and it does look like maybe the Marine is, unfortunately for him, never going to go and see his wife and children ever again, and he is going to die. And there we go, the SCV is going to die as well from nucLeaR. The bunker is just sat there in amazement at what just happened to that bunker rush strategy, because I'll tell you what happened, not a whole lot did. It's just going to sit there for a while, chilling, maxing, relaxing. It can be cancelled anytime by nucLeaR. So you know what? It is just a very expensive paperweight at the moment. nucLeaR saying, my cheeses are always the finest. Of course. He should open a shop. In fact, I don't think I've seen him before. He should open a shop selling Parmesan, cheddar, brie. My favourite cheese, Edam, of course. Lovely and creamy. Very good. If you haven't had Edam, I implore you, go out right now, close down the window, shut down your computer, go and buy some Edam. Oh my goodness, it is the best cheese ever. And I just told you to shut down the computer, thus making you not watch my video, which I, of course, slave upon. No, go buy some Edam. It's the best, in my opinion. And I'm British, so I'm a fairly good connoisseur of the stuff, but I'm not French, so there we are. We do have this, and I'm sure it is going to get cancelled by nucLeaR. There we go. 75 minerals going straight into nucLeaR's bank account right there. Meanwhile, we have the impossible force, which is a Terran bunker at the top of a ramp in a PvT. And that is something that many Protoss will see throughout their games of playing, throughout their time of playing versus Terran players, is a bunker on top of the ramp, because it makes it very, very difficult to push indeed, especially if your Terran opponent goes and heals the bunker up with SCVs. Meanwhile, we have another command center just finishing right here from nucLeaR as well, so he's going for a massively macro option, and bam, it is actually going to be made into a third straight away, which is a fairly good strategy indeed. Not bad at all, completely out macroing his opponent, currently in the minerals kind of way, or at least he will be very shortly anyway, earning about 200 more per minute. But oh no, he decides that he isn't actually going to do this just yet. Or is he going to go take it over here instead? I have no idea. I don't know where the command center is going, but only time will tell. We will see what happens, I suppose. And this Zealot is just going to scout down here for a command center, and he's actually gone to the wrong place to scout it. If he was here a couple of minutes ago, he may have seen the command center going for a landing. And here we go, we do Stalkers and a Zealot coming down the map right now. Now this force shouldn't pose too much of a threat to nucLeaR at the moment. He does have quite a lot of stuff, and along with the bunker as well, his base is fairly impenetrable. Combat shields just finishing as well, which of course make his Marines much more hardy indeed. And it does maybe look like that Zealot is going to get away with his life, just about indeed. Meanwhile, STEM has just been started for nucLeaR, which is of course a key upgrade. There is supply blockage going on for nucLeaR as well at the moment, which is very unfortunate, but you know, these things happen. There we are. These things do happen. Meanwhile, we do have Chris kind of swimming in minerals, so that is one thing that maybe he'll have to look at. He has just got a lot of gateways, but I think he got them a little bit previously, if I'm correct. And there we go, spending some of those lovely minerals on Zealots as well. Are we going to see charge? We are. Charge is coming up. Lovely. And another Nexus going down right there for Chris. Expanding only when the time seems right. And you know what? The time does seem right. He doesn't lose anything. It was a fairly even matchup. I do think nucLeaR might have won, but that's only with the defender's advantage if there was a major attack there. Which of course there wasn't. So there we go. We do have Chris with a fairly good idea of what nucLeaR is doing, but of course he does not know about this expansion just yet. He has scouted in the kind of traditional third for Ohana and has not found anything, but you know what? He should have scouted here too, because there is quite a lot of mules doing all they can to feed nucLeaR's economy, and nucLeaR is doing very, very well indeed to put away that many minerals so quickly. Because macroing as Terran can become a bit of a nightmare. You need to build the right amount of production facilities in order to, you know, make stuff in a way where you're not going to have loads and loads of minerals left over. Meanwhile, we do have Chris reaching for the massively, massively damaging thing, which is, bam, Psystorm. Oh no! Psystorm is a completely lethal move. I'm sure that you're all fairly aware of it, and these High Templars do actually have enough energy to do a Psystorm straight off the bat as soon as it finishes as well. So nucLeaR will have to be very, very careful here indeed, and this is not looking good for nucLeaR at all. These charge lots will tear his lovely little bio units a complete new one. Feedback's going down on the medvacs. Maybe he could have just waited for the Psystorm to finish, but nucLeaR having to run away right there, which is a fairly good idea indeed. Something that I do believe is probably the better idea. nucLeaR sending these back to base for repair, maybe? That looks like what might be going on. But that attack right there was probably a rather large eye-opener for nucLeaR right now, because his opponent does have High Templars on the field. Psystorm is finished, and this could get fairly hairy for nucLeaR right now if he is not careful to stay ahead in technology and all of that good stuff. I mean, Terrans start to lose their power in 1 versus 1 kind of mid and late game due to the fact that other races have really, really good tier 3 units, such as the Colossus and the High Templar. And let's face it, you don't really see battle cruisers that often, and Thors are becoming a rarity as of late. So many times Terrans will rely on Triple M, also known as Marine, Marauder, and Medvac. And that is what we are seeing right now. And this is a very, very dangerous time to be nucLeaR's army right now, especially with this many Zealots with charge coming into your face and try to do as much damage as possible. Bam! Down goes one Medvac, and while we're going to see a Psystorm going down here, we are, but it misses completely. nucLeaR probably accidentally running his Marines and Marauders back into the Psystorm anyway, and here we go. This is such a dangerous situation for nucLeaR to be in, but with his fairly good micro, he is managing to actually kind of hold this off. The Zealots melting away there to the superior firepower of the Marines and Marauders. And there we go. These High Templars are just doing so much damage at the moment. Chris playing very, very well indeed, but he has not scouted anything that is going on as far as expansions are concerned. nucLeaR, on the other hand, quickly dropping Chris's main right now. We have Zealots being walked in, which... Oh, and a High Templar, which is a fairly good choice actually, because bam, that could get shot down very, very quickly indeed. But there we are. I think Chris might be chasing this in order to try and shoot it down, which is absolutely fair enough. Meanwhile, nucLeaR is macroing back up, which is, of course, a very, very good idea after that little bit of a battle that happened. And there we go. We do have another drop coming down here right from nucLeaR. I presume that Medvac is dead, and it does look like this will get cleared up fairly quickly right now from Chris. Both sides kind of playing at a fairly even level right now. And ooh, Archons in the mineral line is something that a Terran will never ever want to see ever again. But it does look like nucLeaR has a possibility of turning this around simply because his income is very large at the moment and he is managing it very, very well. AKA, what I'm trying to say is I think his macro is quite good. That is what I do think. Chris's mineral line is not very saturated. He needs to get more probes on that as soon as possible. He is 10 probes down on his opponent, but that is absolutely fine seeing as he has only just been dropped. And of course he will probably work his way back up to getting more probes. But nucLeaR is a little expanding machine at the moment. A nice little Easter egg there. It's just a burning log. I've always wondered why that is there, but you know what? It's just there. I'm sure there is some reason. Of course, there is Sky Shark as well on the tournament versions of Cloud Kingdom. You should watch out for it. It's hilarious. 3 weapons, 3 armor on the way for our Protoss player right now, Chris. Meanwhile, there is another drop going on in his main while his army just kind of stands there, but it is coming back right now. It's not his main, it is his third, just so you know. And nucLeaR's going to want to be very careful to try and get that Medvac away. Oh, and unfortunately one shot from the Stalker does actually kill it off. And I mean, nucLeaR is in good shape. Sorry, Chris is in good shape. I'm sorry. Chris is in good shape at the moment. He could do with... You know what? No, he's absolutely he's in good shape. That's the way I can say it. That's the way I feel comfortable saying. Both players getting their +3 up at the moment. I think that nucLeaR is trying to claw a win by doing lots and lots of drops at the moment, and that's absolutely fine. That's something that you will see Terran doing, is doing a hell of a lot of harassment in mid game to try and ultimately kind of gain an advantage. But these Stalkers, very well positioned here by Chris, are probably going to kill this off. If Chris sees it, then he could have just told his Stalkers to carry on shooting the Medvac, and then that would have been cleared up pretty quickly. But you know what? It's not so far. Meanwhile, we do have nucLeaR making a move on Chris's army. That's so many charge loss right there, and Psystorms going down on the whole lot. And will this be the end for nucLeaR? That is what I am wondering. I mean, the Zealots actually here from Chris are going completely the wrong way, chasing 2 Marauders. They do want to regroup with the main body of army right here because, oh, that split up there, that inadvertent split up from Chris perhaps wasn't the best thing on earth for him. Maybe he could have kept his Zealots slightly more under control. But the more bio units that Terran will get, Zealots become less and less effective because they tend to melt away before they even get there, even with the charge upgrade. That is what I'm talking about. Even with the charge upgrade. And we do have all of the High Templars actually successfully making it back to base, and he does have a lot of High Templars. I mean, let's see. Wow, there's 11? Yeah, 11 High Templars. That's quite a lot. He means business with the High Templar, absolutely, and we might actually see some Archons as well, again, because we have already seen them. But, I mean, nucLeaR is doing well in the macro department. He is on 4 base, his opponent is on 3. If we look at the income, nucLeaR is hooning it ahead, absolutely hooning it ahead by at least 400 minerals, which is absolutely fine because that means you can just make more and more stuff. And if we look at the production tab as well, we have nucLeaR constantly making stuff, constantly, with 192 supply to 157, and it's only just changed to 157 as well. It's not looking as desperate as it could do for nucLeaR. Now the question is he going to get the EMPs off on those 12 High Templar as quickly as he would like? That is the question. I think Chris might do well with splitting up these High Templar, but here we go. We do have a big attack coming in right now. nucLeaR is going to want to be... Oh, feedback going down on the Ghost, and that is not what you want to see if you are nucLeaR right now, because that means that these High Templar are just going to be able to do their thing completely. Mind you, some of these High Templar are actually quite out of position, or way at the back of the army right now, and these Marines and Marauders do look like they're going to be able to do quite a lot of damage, very skillfully getting them out of the way of the Psystorm there by nucLeaR, and it doesn't look like this is nucLeaR's battle to win. And here we go. Are we going to see a counterattack and a big push from nucLeaR? I think we are. He is heading in the right direction. He's trying to get there before his opponent can re-macro up and do all sorts of damage. Nice one by nucLeaR here. Are we going to see it like a big drop? No, just one drop, possibly to the left at the same time. Chris finally taking his 4th expansion, but I couldn't think of a worse time for him to try and take a 4th expansion, seeing as nucLeaR is definitely on the war prowl right now. Not a good time to be Chris at the moment. nucLeaR is capped at 200 out of 200 with his 3-3 weapons upgrade. Definitely finished as well. Archon's getting morphed. Absolutely good call there by Chris, seeing as Archons are a lovely cheap unit that do lots and lots of splash damage. But you know what? I'm not sure if this is going to go so well for Chris right now. At points, I thought Chris's army could have kept up with this, but no, you know what? Chris has just GG'd and left the game in the face of the Might, which is Terran Bio. Weapons and armor +3. It absolutely shreds stuff. And there we go. Nice one, nucLeaR. Well done. Chris, awesome. There we go. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I will repeat my message about the StarCraft 2 UK Nationals, which I said at the beginning of this cast. We will be there. We will be doing all sorts of HD footage, so make sure you tune in for that. And that will be on the 1st of July, I believe. Yes, so we're heading down to London for that. And I'll also repeat it probably in the next cast or so. Cheers, guys. Thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Cheers.